Most people will never awaken. Even fewer will meet another who has. You see, the world prefers sleep. It rewards those who never question, never probe too deeply, never see beyond the veil of comfortable illusions. Society runs smoothly when people accept what they're told, chase what they're shown, and believe the lies they need to believe. But perhaps you felt something different. A crack in the facade, a moment when everything everyone told you mattered, suddenly felt hollow. If you ever meet another soul who has awakened, truly awakened, understand this: it is not romantic, it is not gentle, it is seismic. What I'm about to tell you will unsettle you, because when two awakened souls meet, the event is rare, dangerous, and transformative. It exposes illusions you still carry, it destroys what remains of your ego, and it reveals the dark reality behind every human motive, including your own. So, are you ready to hear what no one else will tell you? Good. Let's begin. Why awakened souls are rare? Let me tell you something most people refuse to accept. Awakening is not a blessing, it's a wound. To awaken means to see through the illusions that keep society functioning. The illusions of purpose, of meaning handed down by institutions, of praise that feels good but means nothing, of belonging to groups that demand you surrender your mind. Most people never awaken because they're afraid, not consciously perhaps, but deep down they know that once you see the truth, you cannot unsee it. And the truth, my friend, is often unbearable. You see, the average person lives inside what I call Maya, the veil of illusion. They believe they are separate, important, permanent. They believe their desires will lead to happiness. They believe status, wealth, romance will finally complete them. But the awakened, they've passed through suffering. They've sat in isolation. They've contemplated deeply enough to realize all of it is theater. Have you ever felt like you see things others don't? Like you're standing outside a party, watching people perform roles they don't even know they're playing? That's the first wound of awakening, the loneliness of clarity. And here's the bitter truth: only those who've endured real suffering reach this point. Not the suffering of inconvenience, the suffering of betrayal, of loss, of the soul being crushed so thoroughly that all pretense falls away. Only then do you stop lying to yourself. Only then do you stop seeking validation from a world that has none to give. Only then do you awaken. But awakening is rare, because most people would rather be comfortable than truthful. They'd rather be accepted than authentic. They'd rather follow than question. And so the awakened walk alone. The awakened soul walks alone. Solitude is not loneliness. Let me make that distinction clear. Loneliness is the ache for connection you don't have. Solitude is the peace of connection you don't need. The awakened soul prefers solitude, not because they hate people, but because most interactions feel trivial, surface level, performative. Think about the conversations you're forced into, the small talk, the status games, the veiled competition disguised as friendship, the manipulation wrapped in politeness. The awakened see through all of it. They see the colleague who compliments you but undermines you in private. They see the friend who only calls when they need something. They see the lover who speaks of devotion but calculates their exit. They see it because they've awakened to a simple, ruthless truth. Most human relationships are transactional. People connect not out of love, but out of need, out of fear of being alone, out of social obligation, out of the desperate, clawing hope that someone else might fill the void inside them. But the awakened know the void cannot be filled by another, and so they stop playing the game. They withdraw, not in bitterness, but in clarity. Society will call them cold, aloof, arrogant, but they're not. They've simply realized that their energy is finite, their time is limited, and most people don't deserve either. This isn't cruelty, it's self-preservation. A man can be himself only so long as he is alone. The moment he enters society, he must forfeit 3/4 of himself just to fit in, and the awakened refuse to pay that price anymore. So they walk alone, not because they can't connect, but because they choose depth over frequency, silence over noise, authenticity over approval. Loneliness becomes a form of superiority, not arrogance but recognition. The recognition that you'd rather be alone with truth than surrounded by illusions. What true recognition feels like. But then, something rare happens. Two awakened souls meet. It doesn't happen often. It can't, because the awakened are scattered, hidden in solitude. camouflaged in crowds. They don't announce themselves, they don't seek each other out. But when it happens, when two people who have truly seen through the illusions cross paths, the recognition is instant, not by words, not by credentials or status or charm, by presence, by silence, by depth. You see, the awakened carry a certain weight in their gaze, a stillness. They don't rush to fill silence with chatter. They don't perform. They don't need to prove anything. And when another awakened soul looks into their eyes, they see it. They see the same scars, the same clarity, the same exhaustion from pretending, the same relief at finally not having to. It's like looking into a mirror you didn't know existed. A quiet nod of mutual understanding. You see it too. No explanation needed, no credentials required, no biography necessary, just recognition. And in that moment, something shifts. Because for the first time in years, perhaps ever, you are not translating yourself. You are not adjusting your language. You are not dimming your intensity to make others comfortable. You are simply seen, not judged, not analyzed, not categorized, seen. Do you know how rare that is? To be seen not for what you do or what you provide or how you make someone feel, but for what you are. That recognition, it's not warm, it's not comforting in the way people expect. It's sharp, it's electric, it's unsettling, because it forces you to drop every defense you've built. The ego dies for a moment. The awakened spend years building walls, thick ones, invisible ones. They guard their mind, their energy, their solitude. They've learned the hard way that most people drain rather than nourish. That openness is often mistaken for weakness. That vulnerability is weaponized, so they become fortresses, self-sufficient, impenetrable. But when they meet someone at their level, something extraordinary happens. The ego dies, not permanently, but for a moment, just a moment, it softens. The defenses drop, the masks fall, the performance ends. Because they recognize something crucial. This person is not a threat. This person will not exploit their depth. This person will not misinterpret their silence or mistake their honesty for coldness. This person understands. And here's what happens internally. You feel a release, a relaxation you didn't even know you were holding. Like you've been clenching your fists for years, and suddenly you can open them. You stop calculating your words. You stop monitoring your tone. You stop censoring your thoughts. You finally feel seen without needing to explain yourself, without needing to defend your worldview, without needing to justify why you think differently, live differently, see differently. They already know, because they've walked the same path. Now let me be clear. This is not dependency. This is not I finally found someone who completes me. No, this is mutual recognition between two complete beings, two people who don't need each other, but who acknowledge each other. There's a difference, a critical one. Need creates attachment, recognition creates respect, and respect allows you to connect without losing yourself. The conversation that isn't really a conversation. When two awakened souls speak, it doesn't sound like normal conversation. There's no gossip, no bragging about achievements, no subtle competition disguised as sharing, no performative stories designed to impress. Instead, the conversation becomes something else entirely. It becomes a comparison of worldviews, a testing of philosophical frameworks, an exchange of dark observations about human nature that would make most people uncomfortable. They don't talk at each other, they think with each other. One might say, most people mistake activity for purpose. The other nods, they run toward goals they never questioned. One might observe, romantic love is just the will disguised as devotion. The other adds, and when the illusion fades, they blame the person instead of the mechanism. You see, it's not small talk. It's not even big talk in the conventional sense. It's two mirrors reflecting truth back and forth, each insight sharpening the other, each observation revealing another layer. They speak in shorthand, in half sentences that carry full meanings, because they don't need to explain context. They share the same foundation, and the silences between words are not awkward. They're rich, full, comfortable, because silence for the awakened is not emptiness, it's presence. Most people fear silence. They fill it with noise, with distraction, with meaningless chatter, because silence forces them to face themselves. But the awakened welcome it. They live in it. And when two awakened souls sit in silence together, it's not lonely, it's communion. The dangerous part: you cannot lie anymore. Here's where it gets dangerous. The awakened possess a particular skill. They detect insincerity instantly. It's not magic, it's pattern recognition developed through years of observation. They've seen every manipulation, every ego defense, every subtle distortion of truth. They know when someone is performing, when someone is hiding, when someone is lying, even to themselves. And so, between two awakened souls, something becomes impossible: pretending. You cannot wear a mask. You cannot play a role. You cannot tell socially acceptable lies, because they'll see it immediately, and they won't call you out. They'll simply lose respect. And for the awakened, respect is the only currency that matters. So you're forced into brutal honesty, not cruelty, honesty. There's a difference. You admit your doubts, your fears, your darkness, the parts of yourself you've kept hidden because they don't fit the image of who you're supposed to be. And instead of judgment, you find understanding, because they have the same doubts, the same fears, the same darkness. This honesty is brutally refreshing, like cold water after years of drinking lukewarm lies, but it's also terrifying, because once you remove the masks with someone else, you can't wear them with yourself anymore either. They become a mirror, and the mirror shows you everything you've been avoiding. Your remaining ego defenses, your subtle self-deceptions, the ways you still cling to illusions even though you know better. And that is why this meeting is dangerous. It doesn't let you hide, not from them, not from yourself. Intensity, why the connection feels like gravity. Let me tell you what this feels like. When you meet someone with the same mental depth, the same clarity, the same capacity to see through illusions, the connection doesn't feel gentle, it feels like gravity, not romantic gravity, not the foolish falling in love that poets write about. Existential gravity. It's like facing a version of yourself you didn't know existed, a parallel evolution, someone who took different paths but arrived at the same truths. And the intensity of that recognition, it's almost unbearable, because they unlock thoughts you were afraid to admit. They validate observations you thought made you crazy. They mirror back the parts of yourself you've kept hidden because no one else could handle them. You find yourself thinking about them constantly, not in a romantic way, in an intellectual way, a philosophical way. You want to know, what else do they see? What other truths have they uncovered? How did they navigate their awakening? The intensity comes from rarity, from finally having someone who can match your depth, who doesn't flinch at your darkness, who doesn't ask you to dim your light or soften your edges, someone who can hold the weight of your mind without collapsing under it. But here's the paradox: this intensity is not sustainable, because the awakened are not meant to merge. They're not meant to complete each other or fill each other's voids. They're meant to recognize each other and then continue their separate journeys. Because evolution, true evolution, requires solitude, but they don't complete each other. Society has sold you a lie, the lie of the soulmate, the other half that makes you whole, the person who completes you. Nonsense, let me destroy this illusion for you. You are already whole, or rather, you're already as whole as you'll ever be. Another person cannot fill what's missing inside you, because what you think is missing isn't actually a void. It's the natural state of existence. The will, the blind, insatiable force that drives all life, creates an endless wanting, a perpetual dissatisfaction. And people mistake this for a void that needs filling, so they search for their other half. They search for someone to complete them, and when they find someone who temporarily distracts them from their own emptiness, they call it love. They call it destiny. But the awakened know better. When two awakened souls meet, they do not merge. They do not become dependent. They do not lose themselves in each other. They walk parallel paths, not intertwined, not enmeshed, parallel. They recognize each other as fellow travelers, as equals, as individuals who have reached similar clarity through different suffering. But they respect each other's solitude. They respect each other's journey. They respect the fact that true growth happens alone. Recognition without attachment. Understanding without dependence. Connection without illusions. That is what happens when two awakened souls meet. They don't say, "I need you." They say, "I see you, I respect you, and I honor your path as separate from mine." There's no clinging, No demands, no expectations that the other will save them or fix them or make life bearable because they've already saved themselves. The dark reality, one of them always walks away first. And here's the truth no one wants to hear. One of them always walks away first. Not out of betrayal, not out of fear, not out of hurt, but out of necessity. You see, the awakened value freedom above all else, more than comfort, more than companionship, more than the intoxicating intensity of being truly seen. Freedom. The freedom to evolve without compromise, the freedom to follow their own path without negotiation, the freedom to return to solitude when solitude is needed. And so, one of them, usually the one who awakened first, or who has traveled further, recognizes that the connection, while profound, is not permanent. They return to solitude, not coldly, not cruelly, simply, naturally. The other continues their journey inward, perhaps wounded at first, perhaps confused. But eventually, they understand, because they value the same thing, freedom. And freedom requires that you not cling, not to people, not to experiences, not to moments, no matter how rare. There's no drama, no bitterness, no long explanations or apologies, just mutual understanding that evolution requires isolation, that the meeting was never meant to last, only to transform. That recognition is the gift, not possession, and so one walks away, and the other lets them. Not because they don't care, but because they care enough not to trap each other. This is the dark reality, the truth that destroys the romantic fantasy. Even the rarest connections are temporary. Even the deepest recognition is fleeting, because the awakened are not searching for a home in another person. They're searching for truth, and truth is a solitary pursuit. The after effect. The mind can't go back, but the meeting leaves a mark, an irreversible one. After you've met someone equally awakened, something shifts inside you, permanently. Your standards rise, not in a superficial way, in a fundamental way. You can no longer tolerate shallow conversation. You can no longer pretend to care about trivial matters. You can no longer invest energy in people who don't see, don't think, don't question. Your tolerance for superficiality collapses completely. You walk into a room full of people and feel nothing. No desire to engage, no curiosity, just a quiet recognition that these are not your people. And you used to feel guilty about this. You used to think something was wrong with you. But now you know, nothing is wrong with you. You've simply seen what lies beyond the surface, and you can't pretend you haven't. You begin demanding truth from yourself. Not just from others, from yourself. You stop tolerating your own self-deceptions, your own ego games, your own comfortable illusions. The meeting becomes a psychological turning point, a line in the sand between who you were before and who you are now. Before you were awakened, but still compromising, still occasionally playing the game, still pretending when necessary. After, you stop pretending entirely. The mask doesn't just slip, it shatters. And this is both liberation and isolation. Liberation because you're finally fully authentic. No more performance. No more exhausting translation of yourself for others. Isolation because now even fewer people can reach you. Now the gap between you and the unawakened feels insurmountable. But here's what you realize. The meeting wasn't meant to bring you closer to people. It was meant to bring you closer to truth. And truth is always isolating. Always. But it's also the only thing worth having. Conclusion. Two awakened souls don't meet, they recognize. So let me leave you with this final truth. Two awakened souls don't meet, they recognize. There's a difference. Meeting implies accident, chance, the randomness of two paths crossing. But recognition implies something deeper, something inevitable. The acknowledgement of a shared reality that existed before the encounter and will exist after. When you recognize another awakened soul, you're not discovering them. You're confirming what you already knew, that others like you exist, that your clarity is not delusion, that your solitude is not punishment, that you are not alone in seeing what you see, even if you must walk alone because of it. The meeting is not the gift. The clarity it triggers, that is the gift. The way it sharpens your vision, the way it validates your path, the way it raises your standards and destroys your tolerance for illusion. That is what matters. Not the relationship, not the connection, not the hope that maybe, finally, someone will walk beside you forever. No, the gift is the reminder that truth exists, that depth exists, that others have seen through the same illusions and survived, and if you survived once, you'll survive again. So if you ever meet such a soul, don't cling. Recognize them, respect them, learn from them, and then continue your path. Because the awakened are not meant to walk together, they're meant to walk parallel, alone but aligned, solitary but aware. And in that awareness, that recognition that you are not the only one who sees, there is a strange dark comfort. You don't need them to stay. You only needed them to confirm what you already knew. The truth you've seen is real. And once you've seen it, you can never unsee it. Now go, continue your journey. The path is long, and it's yours alone.